This presentation is going to be over the Cook Islands, and I'm going to talk about arts and humanities that are found on the islands. So, firstly, where are the Cook Islands located? They are located in Oceania, a group of islands which is in the South Pacific Ocean. The Cook Islands are composed of 15 islands spread over 850,000 square miles of ocean smack in the middle of the South Pacific between Tonga to the west and the Society Islands to the east. So the Cook Islands can be divided into two groups. There are the Northern Islands and the Southern Islands. On the map in the third slide, you can see at the top we have the Northern Islands and the bottom is the Southern Islands. So the southern group is made up of 9 high islands, mainly of volcanic origin, although some are just atolls, and that is where most of the population lies on the islands. And the northern group is just composed of 6 true atolls, and there's not much population on those. So some basic facts about the Cook Islands. The capital is Avarua, Rarotonga. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but that is the capital city, which lies on the island of Rarotonga, which is also where the main source of population is going to be. It's where the airport is and all of that. There are a lot of Cook Islanders who decide to live in New Zealand and Australia, but if you're talking about just the Cook Islands, the main population is going to be on Rarotonga. So the Cook Islands, they are a self-governing country in free association with New Zealand. So basically this means that they are self-governing, but their defense and foreign affairs are the responsibility of New Zealand, although New Zealand consultates with the Cook Islands before doing any of that. So they have status of Cook Island nationals, even though they are also citizens of New Zealand. They also get the name of Cook Island nationals, which is not given to other New Zealand citizens. It's only given to Cook Islanders. Their economy suffers from isolation a lot. It's strongly affected with their geography. It is isolated from foreign markets and has some inadequate infrastructure and lacks major natural resources. Tourism is basically what provides the economic base for the Cook Islands, which makes up approximately 67.5% of their gross domestic product. Additionally, the economy is supported by foreign aid, largely from New Zealand, of course. But the Cook Islands have been expanding their agricultural, mining, and fishing sectors with varying success. So they are trying to reach out and provide more options for themselves. Moving on to the arts and humanities part, I want to talk about music, which is a very, very large shared love of the Cook Islanders. Music is shared from a very young age. Close harmony singing is highly developed in church music, and the power and emotional impact of chants and hymns at weddings and funerals and festivals is well known to visitors who attend, like tourists and stuff. The range of talent of popular singing can be seen at the numerous festivals throughout the year, and each island actually is known to have their own songs, and it is also known for them to have competitions between each other with the different songs and putting on shows and competitions and whatnot. The use of drumming in music and dance is very popular on the Cook Islands. The wooden drums were actually often mistaken for Tahitian music and were falsely claimed as Tahitian in the United States, but that is actually false. This is a common misrepresentation because of the Cook Islands having a strong connection to their Tahitian ancestry, but it actually has nothing to do with Tahitian music. It's just drumming of their own. Dance in the Cook Islands is also another very important aspect of their culture. Once again, every island, just like having their own songs, also has their own dances. The dances of the islanders are practiced religiously from birth. You learn them from early childhood, and there are numerous competitions throughout the year on each island, which are very, very highly popular. Every major hotel actually prides themselves on the performance that they put on for guests, so it's a very high tourist attraction for people to come and see the traditional dances of the Cook Islanders. So dancing can be different between the men and the women and their different styles of dancing. In general, the women dance with a more swaying hip movement that slowly goes from side to side. They will dance with flat feet, which is hard to do while swaying your hips, and the shoulders should be kept still. So actually, girls and young women are judged on how they keep their shoulders by dancing, and that is something that is looked at. So, differing from the women, the men actually dance with more slightly bent knees, which they will actually knock together in time with the different drum beats. So, depending on what the drumming is, also depends on how they're dancing. They also have a more kind of grinding movement overall. Their dance is very jerky as opposed to the women who are swaying back and forth more, leisurely than the men are. But it's when that the two come together that you see the overall result of them dancing together, the women and the men. It's supposed to be completely opposite, but when it comes together, it puts on this big show. Moving on to the arts and crafts part of the Cook Islands, wood carving is very, very common and very popular and always has been. Everything from fish hooks, war clubs, spears, storyboards, canoes, and even some bowls and utensils are carved out of wood and can be seen in their museums and sold at their markets. Rarotonga is known for its wood carvings of fishermen's gods and staff gods. So a staff god combines images of gods with their human form into a wood carving, and that differs from a fisherman's god as they are carvings of the sea god Tangora, which is the most popular fisherman's god. Apart from the wood carvings, tattoos are actually getting to be more popular again on the Cook Islands. They were once banned by Christian missionaries. They were seen as barbaric, like a heathen custom. But traditional tattooing has made a comeback in the Cook Islands because locals in the Pacific Nation are trying to reconnect with their roots, and that is something that they did before the Christian missionaries decided to ban them. Traditionally, the tattoos were applied with bone or shell pieces. The tattoos were a rite of passage for Polynesian men, and paintings from the early days of European contact show muscular warriors with elaborate designs covering much of their bodies. So this was a very popular practice for them before it was banned. Finally, the last major art form in the Cook Islands is called Taviavi. This is a form of needlework, specifically the making of patchwork quilts by hand. So these designs are stunning and intricate works. They're made by women. These patchwork and needleworks are often given as gifts of love and friendship. They supplanted the traditional giving of the tapa cloth on ceremonial occasions such as weddings, funerals, and haircutting. Taviavi is communal activity, and several women will get together and they'll work on it together. So the original idea was actually introduced by the wives of missionaries from England and nuns from Tahiti who taught embroidery, needlework, sewing, and patching and crocheting. This act has become a very, very big aspect of their community because it is social work, and it's social work with women. So it allows them to get together and socialize and become a part of the community together, and that's the importance to them. And despite the origin from England, it actually has progressed, and there are actually designs now that come solely from the Cooks, so they are known solely for doing their own designs now as opposed to the European influence. And that concludes everything you need to know about art and humanities in the Cook Islands. My references are on the next slide. Thank you.